He is shocking everyone, as we have a major update on the Rockets and their past two games having a different starting lineup, but the wins lead back to one person who is paying dividends on his offseason signing. We talk about him today on the show here on Rockets Digest. Welcome, everybody. I'm Jace Andrews. I appreciate you tuning in. We're going to talk about Josh Okogie and why he has been playing so good and why he could have just unlocked the Houston Rockets, all today coming up on the show. Before that, though, I got to show you something from Thunder Digest. Here's what they said in their latest video.
We're on the road to 7,000 subscribers, so go ahead and subscribe now. We're in a heated battle with Rockets Digest. They're right around the same as we are. Jace, my good buddy over there on that channel, thinking that they've got the more superior fan base in the Western Conference. So let's show him that he is wrong. Obviously, not only on the court with the Larry O'Brien, but also off the court with our support of Oklahoma City.
Are you kidding me? No, Ryan. We're not letting that pass. We're not letting that fly. Rockets Digest is about to pass Thunder Digest and run them into the dirt. They're at 6,300 subscribers. We're at 6,030 subscribers. By the end of the week, by the end of next week, I don't care. We're passing Thunder Digest, so do me a favor. Go down there and hit that subscribe button. It's 100% free. I promise you won't regret it. Let's get into the video. Josh Okogie has been a huge part of this Rockets, I'm going to call it turnaround. I know it's 4 games. I know there's 82 games in the season, but those first 2 games were tough losses for different reasons. The first one, obviously in double overtime, wanting to win that game so badly, feeling like you should have won that game. You were up by 12 at one point the night that Şengün had. You lost. You then go home. It's Kevin Durant's Toyota Center debut, and you lose to a good Detroit Pistons squad, but you lost in what was a very tough start to the season. Then you're facing 2 different teams that I would call on the lower tier of the NBA, but you switched up your starting lineup. And you switched it up in a very intriguing way. You ask what that way is? Well, that's where we go to today's show. You look here. This was the starting 5 for the game against the Brooklyn Nets. Thompson, Şengün, Durant, Josh Okogie, and Jabari Smith Jr. Same starting 5 for the same next day. And so the one switch, Josh Okogie, did he really mean that much? He did. He truly did. Sleeper Rockets has the stat here. Through Houston's first 4 games, Josh Okogie is averaging almost 10 points per game while shooting 64.7% from the field and 60% from 3. Most underrated pickup of the offseason so far? You think so? You think so? He was a very cheap contract, a late addition, but somebody who was grabbed for his defensive efforts, and now his 3-point prowess is coming in a huge way. And so I'm excited to see what the rest of the season looks like, but I do want to talk about some of his stats. 23 minutes per game. We're going to talk about what that ranks in the Rockets, but that's a lot of minutes for Josh Okogie. 27 years old. His field goal percentage is .647. His 3-point percentage being over .600. This is something that we did not expect from Josh Okogie. This is something at least that I didn't see coming, at least offensive-wise in the numbers. But one thing that I think is maybe the most underrated part about Josh Okogie is the spark that he has brought this team. One of the many Houston Rockets Twitter accounts, Will here, says, another thing I peeped from rewatching the film, Josh Okogie is so good at starting in his role. Played great defense, hustled in transition, made smart reads, etc. He just did all the little things you want your role players to do. Keep giving him minutes. Speaking of minutes, if you want to continue on and look at minutes, Josh Okogie right now ranking just below what you would expect the quote-unquote top-tier starters to be. Obviously, Alperen, KD, Jabari, and Alperen and Ahmed are going to be your top 5 guys. Batari and Steven, both guys who I could see getting a lot of minutes. Josh Okogie, though, just a couple minutes behind them, and I wouldn't be shocked if at the end of the season he ends up getting a little bit more minutes per game than Steven Adams, specifically because of the hustle plays he's been doing. And really, when you look at this team, when you look at the Houston Rockets, you want to see the fight. You want to see the effort, especially from guys like Okogie, and he's doing exactly that. And his teammates are noticing it as well. We go take a look at what Kevin Durant said on him, saying, quote, "It helped out a lot. I know Josh like the back of my hand. Playing with him the last 2 years in Phoenix, I know exactly his mindset out there. He's a hard-nosed, pick-you-up 94 feet type of guy." Continued on to say, quote, "He is a drive and closeout, make the right type of play finisher at the rim. I feel like this environment is perfect for him, end quote. The high praise of Kevin Durant for a teammate that he's had for now the past 3 seasons. And I think that is something that was somewhat overlooked by a lot of people, is the chemistry they have. And Okogie does a lot of things great. Moving the ball is one. Also being in the right spot at the right times for many different reasons. And just the ability to kind of see him go out there, play in a starting role, and not just play, but succeed. And I've mentioned this so many times. In my mind, the Rockets have 4 starters and a rotating 5th and 6th man, and it depends on whether Ime Udoka wants to go double big, whether he wants to throw Tari in there and have a lot of wings, or if he throws Josh Okogie and goes Amen Thompson at the 1 and Okogie at the 2 and uses him as a shooting guard kind of defensive combo. Kind of a weird thing, but that's what he's been going with, and it's been working out. And if you know Ime Udoka and you know the Houston Rockets from last year, it's probably going to stick with this lineup for a bit until it stops working. When they had the double big lineup going, they used that lineup night in and night out for, I swear, like 20 straight games until it finally was like, okay, we need to try something else because we got on like a 2 or 3 game losing streak. But either way, Okogie had some comments as well talking about starting. He said, quote, "It is always a good thing when a coaching staff has trust in you to go in there and do a particular job. And I was just happy that we were able to get out there and get a win," end quote. Okogie brings so much of a positive vibe to this team. And for a lot of reason, I think that he is somebody that is going to be overlooked at the end of the year as to his presence, his ability on this team, and the reason that the Rockets got into any situation was a lot because of him. But I just find it funny because talk about this report right here. After finishing with an abysmal 15 assists in a loss to the Detroit Pistons late last week, Okogie's presence helped set the pace for a season-high 33 assists. Houston entered the game ranked 26th in the NBA in that category. Assists were something that I knew was going to be hard to come by, specifically for the reason that Fred VanVleet was the controller of the offense, and without him, you kind of, I'm not going to say lacked ball movement, but you lacked getting that extra pass for the open shot. Alperen's been good at it, but Okogie has also helped as well, and I think him getting that extra pass, being the guy to start that movement, it's a very good thing. You got the win against the Brooklyn Nets. You got the win against the Toronto Raptors. And now you can kind of sit back and go look at the schedule and understand you've got a game against the Boston Celtics, who they played bad, they've played good, they've kind of been up and down this season. But either way you slice it, it is going to be a very fun night to watch. And the games coming up are 2 big ones. You have, again, Boston this upcoming Saturday, tomorrow, and then Monday you got a game against Dallas, the first one against one of the Texas teams. It's going to be a couple of intriguing games because do I think Boston is high on the totem pole? No. But do I consider them better than Toronto and Brooklyn? Yes. Same thing with Dallas. Do I think they're like a top tier of the Western Conference? No. Do I think they're going to be better than Toronto, Brooklyn, maybe even Detroit? Yeah, I could see them on that same level. So really seeing the transition from those first 2 games to the last 2 games, now to these 2 games, it's going to be nice. And in some ways, you can kind of, at least up until this point, obviously, break the season down into 2 games at a time. You change stuff up in these past 2 games. They've worked. Do you continue that? It seems like they're going to. And if so, does it work? As I mentioned, the way Ime Udoka coaches, the way this team looks, I highly believe that we're going to see this same starting lineup for a good amount of time until it either just stops working, gets a rut, or Ime decides that he would rather go back to the double big, which I like double big, but I think it can be used better in a non-starting role rather than starting it. I think having it be a potential option off the bench is way better to me, especially having Steven Adams off the bench. We appreciate you watching. We appreciate you hanging out. And remember that Thunder Digest challenge. We can't let them talk to us that way. So go down there, hit that subscribe button. It's 100% free. And we'll talk to you next time here on Rockets Digest. Peace out, guys.